Well, in this Atheist Sunday School, we'll do Bible promises about wisdom, lesson 6. And if I remember, because I'm an idiot, so I may forget. At the end of this video, I'll do a little rant about how religion and racism are probably going to die very hard and probably cause a lot of problems before they die. That'll be after I go through all this, just so you know. Introduction. Young people need to know what to do with their lives. Parents need to know how to rear their children properly. People need to fulfill responsibilities, or they have to advise someone on the proper course of action or lead others in the proper work. People need help in doing right, speaking right, and thinking right. Wisdom is needed. And of course, you go to KingJamesBibleOnline.org if you want to see these verses. The wonderful promise which we will study this week is in James 1, 5 through 7. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering. For he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. Of course, this Lord is going to tell you what you already believe. You know, if you believe that your doctrine is right, and you pray and ask God, is your doctrine right? This God is going to tell you yes. The Holy Spirit's going to, because think about it, the Catholics, the Protestants, all these denominations of the Protestant churches, they all think they're right. And they'll tell you, the Holy Spirit tells me I'm right. Well, you can't all be right. And all be wrong. Well, what is wisdom? The definition of wisdom. Wisdom is having knowledge and being able to use that knowledge properly. Wisdom is knowing how to act and what to say in any situation. Not necessarily, how to act and what to say in any situation. That's more social skills, emotional intelligence, things like that, not wisdom. The value of wisdom, Proverbs 3, 14, 18. Of course, to them, wisdom is only good if you're serving God. One, it is riches. The substance of it is better than silver. The profits of it are better than fine gold. It is more precious than rubies. It's worth more than all the things that anyone can want. 2 is longevity. A wise person has a longer life. 3 is honor as well as riches. A wise person has a longer life? Yeah, right. Honor comes to a person as an accompaniment to wisdom. It is a pleasant living. Proverbs 24, 13 to 14. A wise person enjoys life. Wisdom brings a long life, eternal. She is a tree of life. It is happiness. It's like a honey. A wise person enjoys life. Maybe that wise person has a good life to enjoy. I mean, if you're starving, have no food or anything, or these dumb bastards get us into a major world war and we're all, basically everything gets destroyed, we got to rebuild, we're going to pretty much be suffering. No matter wisdom is going to stop you. And of course, God ain't going to help you. I'll get to that at the end. Who is the provider or the source of wisdom? Well, Jesus is 1 Corinthians 1:30, Proverbs 8:22 to 29, John 1 through 14. He has made wisdom to us. He existed before anything was created. He is from the beginning. He knows everything. Jesus is a liberal giver. As soon as we ask for wisdom or any other thing, he gives liberally. He does not scold with the giving. I don't know about that. He's a good giver. James 1:17 is the only source of good and perfect gifts. He never changes. James 1:17, the promise of James 1:5, therefore will never be withdrawn. How is wisdom obtained? By trusting Jesus as Savior. James 1 through 3, Proverbs 9:10, and 15:33. Instruct us that wisdom begins with the person whenever he begins to fear the Lord. Also, we know that this promise is written to those who are saved, for they are called brethren by James. B, by asking for every Christian has only the beginning of wisdom. Proverbs 10:13 and Proverbs 17:24. He has understanding because he has realized his need for the Savior and has accepted him as his own personal Savior. 2, every Christian must recognize his lack of wisdom. James says in James 1:5, any of you lack wisdom, ask, of course. And 3, every Christian must ask for wisdom. Again, he finishes that verse. See, by receiving it from God, Proverbs 17:16, Proverbs 23:23, and James 1:5, and it shall be given him. It cannot be bought. By obeying those who have wisdom. Sure, Proverbs 29:15 to 17. Children receive wisdom from their parents, who set rules and would keep the children from wrong, who punish them for wrong which they have done. What is the behavior of a wise person? A wise person will love the person who rebukes them. A wise person will even be more wise after being given instruction. A wise person is not proud. A lowly person possesses wisdom. A wise person seeks to be well advised. A wise person learns what he should know. A wise person does not take part in strife, contention, and bitter envy. A wise person is happy. A wise person is directed by the loud. A wise person finds himself walking safely in the way which he travels. A wise person says and does the right thing. How should the wise react to their gift of wisdom? A, they should not glory in the wisdom. B, they should not glory in the fact that they understand what and they know God. Jeremiah 9:24. How does God deal with the worldly wise? He confounds them. 1 Corinthians 1:27. They cannot think straight. The conclusions which they draw as a result of their thinking are wrong. That is why the counsel then say cannot be good counsel. That's right, you evolutionists. That's right, evolutionists. B, puts them to shame. 1 Corinthians 3:19. C, he deprives them of all honor. 1 Corinthians 1:20. They have no ground for boasting. Basically, if scientists and all these people who are not saved, they're stupid. Only a preacher who doesn't even have a high school education is smarter than them. And actually, I even heard a preacher say that before. Conclusion. Proverbs 4:7 tells us that wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. It is our responsibility to make sure we get God's wisdom, not the wisdom of the world. That's right. God has made His wisdom available to any one of us. How foolish it is would it be not to obtain it simply because we did not ask for it. Memory verse, James 1:5. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. Now, of course, as I was about to say, because I was going to do a separate video, I said, you know what the hell, I don't want to do it. Because I'm trying to get through all these as fast as I can. So this part, second part, is, religion, both religion and racism are going to die very hard. And they may not completely die, but they're going to, what I mean by that is they're going to take a lot of us with it. Think about it, whether Hillary or Trump had won, Hillary won, it was going to mess with Russia and Iran. Trump, of course, is screwing around with China and Iran. So no matter what, one of us probably would have gotten us may get us into a third world war. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I know the media is getting into that. And like I've said in other videos, you can't really trust them. They're mainly opinion pieces now. They're not really reliable. And you got, the left-wing media, they're attacking Trump and all this stuff, saying this and then. You can't believe nothing they say because they told us that Hillary was going to win. And look at all the other stuff they're getting caught lying about. Then you got the right-wing media, and Radio AM, and all these people pro-Trump and this and that. You can't really believe what either of them saying. You got to check out for yourself. I mean, look at that. What is it? Betsy DeVos, I think it is. I think that's her name. Texas wants to put her in the Secretary of Education. I mean, that is a mistake. If you watch the video of Aaron Ra did of it, you go to Aaron Ra's channel, you'll find it and you'll see what I'm talking about. Religion is going to destroy us, and so is racism. And they're kind of one and the same, not completely. And the same with these social justice warriors, because they're always going to fight. They don't want to listen to reason. They don't care what anyone else has to say but themselves. Only people's opinions matter to a theist and a social justice warrior and a racist is their own opinion. In the media, let's face it, the media, these liberals are just as racist as these conservatives. Think about it now. These liberals, the media, for example, they don't show black on white crime. They show white on black crime, but not black on white crime. Why is that? Have you ever asked yourself that? It isn't because they like black folk and trying to protect them. It's because they think that's typical behavior of blacks. Hey, black people are this, and this, and this. Of course, they never actually worked around black folks or lived around black folks like I have. So they actually believe that garbage. So they show it on the news. Hey, white people are doing it. Because they think, they put white people on a higher pedestal. So of course they're going to do that. It's like, a dog attacks a human being. They don't show that. Dogs are expected to attack you. Humans attack a dog, that makes the news. because humans generally don't just attack a dog for no reason, because they put humans on a higher pedestal than a dog. I don't think humans are better than dogs, but I'm just saying. And these people are going to get us into a lot of problems. They're going to, think about religion. Think about what do you think the Muslims are going to do as they start losing converts? How do you think they're going to respond? Look what they're doing in Europe. That's why I decided not to do this video, separate, because let's face it, it just is not enough quality content. Because all this stuff I'm saying now, I've already said, and you've heard it in other videos, so there's no point in going crazy about it. But they may get us into wars. They're not necessarily major world wars, but hopefully not. I hope not. But they're going to cause problems with trading, with who knows what. Because you've seen Donald Trump's cabinet. I'm sure you have. You got these clans, you got the Nation of Islam, and all these people. They just spread stupidity and ignorance. None of these people are interested in science. And I've already did videos on why racists and social justice warriors and the religious do not like science. And have you ever noticed throughout history, it's the educated that they always attack? They always attack the educated. The Reign of Terror, the Nazis and the Stalin, and then that Stalin and this Russia, I'm sorry, not Russia's, but the Soviet Union. That's why the scientists left Europe and Soviet Union came here. That's why the United States used to enjoy, was the envy of the world when it came to science and education. It isn't anymore. Now, I don't know if you checked Yahoo, apparently the fresh RSC American scientists, hey, come here. We know Trump doesn't value you, because Trump is given in to the religious and to the elite. None of them care about science. Hillary, Trump, none of these politicians do. They never will, because it's the religion that controls their minds. They can't prove that their God exists. There's no way for them to prove it. And they're willing to cause major wars and troubles and strife to bring about their Armageddon. And you've all have heard this. Nothing new. I'm just an idiot. I'm a moron. So obviously I'm not going to present it as well as someone else could. Just be very careful. I wish I could have been born a million years from now. Travel through space and have all the enjoyments that they're going to hopefully have. Because no matter what they do, let's face it. Even if we have a major world war, which will completely wreck the entire world's economy, there'll be starvations, pestilence, millions, maybe even billions of people dying. A million years from now, they will still be extremely advanced, because eventually we'll build up. And of course, all the religions we have now will be gone, pretty much, or very weak. Because how are you going to believe this crap after you just saw it? What your holy book told you was going to happen absolutely did not happen, and most of them will be killed. Hope nobody gets killed. Hope there won't be a war, but eventually, there's just no way that religion and racism won't die without taking a lot of people with it and just doing a lot of destruction. And there's a reason why they don't like science. That's why they don't like science. Science, you have to provide evidence, and you have to go through peer review. That's why they do not simply like science. They can't stand it. And of course, anytime scientists do come up with certain things, they'll say, well, it's of the devil. They'll come up with a way. Think about it, stem cell research. Can you imagine the cures we would have, how much more advanced we would be if it wasn't for the religious? These social justice warriors are not any better, because that's why, I'm not the first person to say this, Hitler was a social justice warrior. Stalin, was a social justice warrior. The Reign of Terror in France in the early 1800s, where they started beheading people who had a brain, and of course, people who had power. Social justice warriors, because they want to take power away from one group and give it to another. And the way they do it is pretty vicious. They'll thumbs down people's videos, report people, cause people problems now. But they also will be very violent, get in your face, cuss at you, spit at you, get violent, try to cost people their jobs, and do a whole lot of horrible things. That's why they are very destructive. They don't care about the damage they're doing to society. They don't care. If we didn't have to worry about these social justice warriors and these theists and these filthy, disgusting racists, I cannot stand racists more than anything else. And of course the sexists too, but it's mainly women are more sexist than men, because I think you've seen that. I think you're noticing that. I think about where we could be, and of course, I'm sure you hear all these wonderful things they believe may happen in science. Let's face it, our brains will probably reach as far as they're going to get. And if you read science, literature and stuff, there are certain ways around it. Create vats. A lot of humans are growing a vat. So that way the brain gets larger. And when the brain gets larger, because the neurons firing. If you took neuroscience like I did, you'll understand it a little bit. Let me show you the book. This is what I took when I took Principles of Neuroscience. If you can see it. And here's the authors and everything. I don't know how well you see that, but it's alright. I'll put it away a little bit later. It'll be a little bit difficult. But the thing is, though, the pathway between one neuron to another neuron, because the axons will be getting longer too. You can't get something for nothing. Yeah, you'll increase the intelligence, but they certainly aren't going to be capable of hatred or racism or religion, because it'll be more analytical, more logical. That's why they don't want, critical thinking and things like that taught in school. That's why when I do my video about running for president, I want to increase logic, critical thinking, and analytical abilities. Increase that stuff. I already did a video on what I would do with the educational system. I don't need to do it again. I'm not going to do it again. I've done a lot of them. Obviously none of y'all are going to vote for me for president. Y'all just vote for someone who doesn't care about the educational system or anything like that. They just want to play politics. And of course, if Trump gets his way and moves the embassy to Jerusalem, we're going to see some serious crap too. But imagine, you do that with the brain. That's just one part. And there's, of course, others. I don't need to get into all of it. But it's not going to happen because we got these religious people in charge. And anybody who tries that's the mark of the beast, and that's just evil, and this and that. And most of the stuff they consider unethical isn't unethical. They'll say euthanasia is unethical. Why? If a dog is suffering, you put the poor dog out of his misery. If a human being is suffering, they're going to live the rest of their lives in extreme pain, or they have terminal illness, and they have cancer, and they're suffering in so much pain. You will make them suffer. And you call yourself ethical? How is making a human being suffer in excruciating pain ethical? And then they complain about Denmark. Yes, Denmark has, euthanasia. So, they just put the elderly to death and blah, blah, blah. No, they do not. They have a panel of doctors that determine whether or not a person is eligible to be euthanized. And, of course, they have to be terminally ill, no hope of recovery, and, of course, pain and all this other stuff. Now, are you going to help them? Do you want your tax dollars? Are you going to allow your tax dollars to help these unfortunate people who are suffering excruciating pain? Are you going to do that? Of course not. I can make this video forever probably and just be a bunch of nonsense because after all I'm an idiot. But oh well, let's just end it now. Bye.